Welcome to the After the Last Pair podcast, episode 3. Just a quick warning, this podcast does contain a little bit of profanity, so if you are watching or listening with children, that may be a consideration. There's some childish humour in here, and also some deeply offensive and terrible impressions of Northerners. Thankfully, we're not soft southern shandy pants, so we don't mind. Anyway, thanks for watching. Okay, guys, welcome to the next episode of After the Last Pair. The last couple of episodes have been a little bit serious, but I don't think that's going to be the case tonight with this one because we've got the guys from TGS on. So welcome, Mr. Carter, Mr. Visser. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules.
Thank you for having us, mate.
Thank you.
Absolutely welcome. I've been a big fan of the show. Well, since I started shooting 5 years ago, I started watching TGS. I think I've been a member for 2 or 3 years. I haven't made it to a member's shoot.
I appreciate that. So does Owen.
Yeah, well, I haven't been to a member's shoot yet because you keep having them in the wrong part of the country, but
I mean, we are literally in France. Even Barbary an hour and a half further north than we are. And that's about as southern a major ground as you get.
Well, funnily enough, the 2 times I've shot Barbary just on a regular shoot, not for the Pro one, have been when I've been on my way to France or on the way back from France. So you're quite right, it is. Welcome to coming on. And if Jonny, Owen, if you want to give us a little quick recap of where TGS started and how we got to where you are today. I mean, I'm sure most viewers watching this will be aware of the channel. Let's be honest, I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass all night, but you're doing the best job when it comes to shotgun shooting and competition filming. And
I appreciate that, mate. I mean, we're an effective team at this point, thankfully. But I'm very excited to hear Owen's version of TGS history.
Yeah, so I mean,
he's done his own work now from before it started.
Well, look, from doing a bit of research way back when, it started as a bit of tabletop reviews, information. Just the tips and tricks for buying shotguns, shooting, that sort of thing. I think there was a bit of false information around, and Jonny wanted to put it right. And as that sort of grew a bit of traction, the travelling started, invited to Playground. So that's where Playground tour began with the likes of Ant, McLernan, and then built to a point where Jonny and now me and Sash pretty much from the beginning have been doing factory walkthroughs and sort of looking at how shotguns and rifles are made and even ammunition. So, and it's ventured to big major events, Pro 1, Jack Links Cup, the World's Ski and Nationals. I don't know if, Jonny, you want to elaborate any more on that?
I mean, that's kind of the diet version, right? Is started small than, I don't know, that blind ambition and workaholic nature of everyone who's ever been part of the team. And it's kind of just kept us driving forward. Fueled by caffeine and ADHD.
I'm right in thinking, obviously, Jonny, you started initially on your own with the guys in the shop, then Sasha joined as a filmmaker?
Yeah, as a full-time filmmaker, which I still think now is a huge extravagance, but it was really cool having, taking that step, and I guess the business was built off the fact that he needed money, and so we need to go and find money rather than any real sort of want to turn this into what it is, although I'm very glad that it did. And then
there's
Owen joined us.
To spend your time.
I don't know. And I dream of being born of the sort of wealth we have in a state and you never leave it. That would be quite nice too, wouldn't it, Owen?
We could dream.
Now, I can't see you as a recluse somehow, Mr. Carter, on your estate, not venturing out.
You'd be surprised.
I don't know.
My favourite hobby is doing as little as humanly possible in my pants. There's a thought for you, big boy.
You ask him what he's up to outside of filming, I can tell you it's probably drinking beer and eating what's in his pants.
Eating what's in his pants? That's
very flexible, mate.
Moving swiftly on. And then a couple of years ago you advertised for an additional filmmaker to come and help because TGS were growing bigger.
Yeah, we were a team of 3, I think, even from 2020. We had a part-time guy, Sam, who was a real cool dude, went on to go and do bigger, cooler things. And when he left, we kind of lived without him for a bit, and that was a year that almost broke me and Sash. It was just a lot, and so finally I capitulated. I think anyone who's ever had employees will appreciate that it's tough. It's not like the most enjoyable thing in the world. And in fact, I've always thought like the fewer you can have, the better. Like it's less stress. It's less stress. There's less mouths to feed when it's quiet. You can be more chill. And, you know, as much as it probably doesn't look like it, YouTube is far from this massively lucrative business model. And so when you have a quiet month, it's a bit more stressful. But it was worth bringing someone else on purely because, well, the channel's growing and we were doing a lot of traveling, a lot of big projects. And as you well know, mate, a big project, it's not like you can just film it, upload it. It's not a live stream. It's not anything simple. Some of these big projects, as you all know, Owen, you're looking at like 10 plus days of editing for some of these monsters. And at the time, putting 2 videos out a week, sometimes more, that was, we managed to do it by the grace of God. But we brought Owen in, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, coming up to 3 years. I think it'll be 3 years in July.
Yippee-ki-yay.
And
Feels like yesterday.
And has it aged you quite significantly, Owen, since you joined?
Yes. And I've somehow got wider.
Like, that's just age. Like, you can think of any excuse, but unfortunately, real men get bigger and stronger. Like, you don't see a silverback with a 6-pack, do you? No.
And you don't think the beers and the KFC on the road haven't attributed to that at all?
Well, the problem is, right, I'm a giant. My calorie intake to keep a bear neutral is probably 25% more than yours. And you
I'm
eat the same as me.
a competitive bugger. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this, but I'm competitive and I'll go toe to toe.
Bugger's not swearing.
I know it's not, but that's what I use instead.
Like my gran says bugger.
Depends on the sentence. If you're talking about buggering, it's starting to get a little bit different.
There we are.
Different podcast.
I'll have to take the over 18s only probably back there. We've got to put this out. I don't know. We'll see.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I think like for me, obviously, I've said I've watched this channel for a while, seen the style develop. I've said I'm not gonna praise you all night, but we'll get out way early. I think the style that you guys have come to, you're making the most cinematic videos out of anybody. You know, you've got the speed ramps and stuff like that. One thing I will praise you on, which really jumped out on the Nationals video last year, the focus pulls from the shooter to the clay. I know how tricky that is to get that right, which is why I don't bother. But you guys have seemed to have it down to a fine art, which, you know, congratulations.
It's about hit rate, right? You just have to be willing to risk it. And that's somewhere like Nationals where, certainly when we're filming the main event and all the other bits, who cares? Shoot it again, shoot it again, shoot it again. Yeah. So we do get through a fair few shots for the perfect shot. But it's worth it sometimes.
You've given up the illusion now.
Well, look,
we're trying to make it out to be masters
like yeah. We hit perfect filming and perfect shooting all the time, Owen. Yeah.
Always.
You know, you try to set people up and they just don't get it.
Sorry.
No, it's fair enough. Well, that's it. But beyond that, I think people don't realise just how much work goes into getting that shot. As you're saying, you know, it's not one and done. It's a lot of work goes in there, and people should realise, because filming clays is bloody hard work.
It is harder than I think people give it credit for. It is one of the difficult things, especially with Jonny being 6'7". You know, that in itself is a challenge. But it's now to the point where I'm so used to filming Jonny, I come to someone that's like my size and I struggle. Which is
when you're filming juniors.
I mean,
click the filming top of the head all the time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we've reached into the over 18s part of the podcast.
I mean, only your mind went there, Owen.
Yeah, I think you've spent too much time on the road. It's starting to affect you.
Yeah, I mean, this is 100%. Like, the truth is, has he aged in 3 years? No, but he's been scarred mentally about 1,000 times.
Mind you, if you can't scar your staff, who can you?
Oh, he scarred me plenty. Like, it's a shared trauma bond.
Yeah, I'm sure Owen gives as good as he gets.
Oh, yeah.
Got to survive.
That's it.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting things, isn't it, Owen? Like, we're taking a bit of a tangent here, but when you film clays, the expectation from the viewer is massive. When you film birds, you can get away with sloppy shite and people just happen to be a part of it. With clays, they expect perfection. Like, you can't even put in one slightly blurred shot. Out of 100 quality shots, everyone go, couldn't barely see the clay with a
Yeah,
timestamp.
there's
Like,
almost
it's a funny
like
thing. We've set the
there's-
bar pretty high.
yeah,
You have.
I'd agree. I'd say there's almost like a love for the more raw style when it comes to birds, anything wild, stalking, that sort of thing. We've tested all sort of types of styles of filming, and if we try and make it too cinematic and too clean with hunting, people don't really like it, do they?
It's a strange thing, right? What's the standard comment is either too much music or too much waffling. So like we always have to bridge the gap between talking and reality and music. It's that was a strange tangent to go down, but it is true. It's a bizarre thing, this filmmaking, like, and the audience's expectations. It's not like there's an industry standard, but it's been fun, like, working on it, and it's an ever evolving thing, right? Oh,
Yeah. I mean, we'd be lying if we said, we've got it down to a T. We are still learning. We still talk regularly on how we can sort of improve and adapt and sort of move with the ever-changing times of what people want to see and styles they want to see.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you've got a big audience, so I'm sure you get lots of great feedback as well as the usual annoying comments.
it's overwhelmingly positive. I think it would be a lie to say anything, but we've been really lucky to not have huge lashback at any point. Touch wood.
I'm glad he reached.
But yeah, I think
the
shooters are positive. Shooters love shooting. Shooters love being able to see shooting, and I think that there is an appreciation for the work we put in, and I think that's great. We've also been doing this a hell of a long time, and we have a really loyal fan base. And if somebody does put a negative comment, it's like a pack of dogs sometimes, which is, but I mean, it's reassuring in its own sense that, like, we have a great community to support us.
Well, I think you've built that a lot, though, haven't you, with the channel memberships and stuff like that. It's a big community feel. When you do a live stream, there's a lot of people in there just taking piss out of each other for most of it.
It's pretty good. That's the TGS spirit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of videos, that probably brings us on to your latest video, which well, not your latest, sorry, because there hasn't been one out since, but the big tentpole video, the Jack Links.
Dead pair!
Every year, shooters from across the world gather here at Quail Creek Sporting Ranch for one of the most exciting events in global sporting clays.
I'm amazed. We talked about the work that goes in. I'm amazed that you got that out so quickly. An hour plus video, and I know how much footage I had to go from just from filming the rounds. Never mind all the B-roll and stuff that you guys have got to put in there. So how did that sort of come about? How did you end up at the Jack Links?
Owen? Do you remember? It was a long road going to it.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about covering the Jack Links for quite a while. I mean, I think the first nationals I went to, which was 2 and a bit years ago, people were talking about it then, and we were talking amongst it, sort of how do we sort of go and cover something like that. And I think at times busyness just got in the way. And then speaking to Todd Hitch, who's very sort of closely linked with Jack Links, and it took a little bit of time to sort of get there, but
I mean, eventually then they reached out and said, would you be interested? And we had a series of meetings and a series of planning sessions and a little bit of a change of staff at Quail Creek, obviously. And it came around real quick. And what an event it was, right?
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? I shot the World English at Churchill's for the first time in 2023. And before that, I'd only ever shot just a local, registered, been to Swinton, been to Manchester. And no one was sure. I thought, no, I'm going to go down. I'm probably well out of my depth for my quality, but I'm going to go. I got there like, wow, we've got to get a shuttle bus to the stands. And like, it's just immense. It's crazy. You go there, it's a totally different world. I mean, I know you obviously you've been to the Nationals before, so it probably wasn't as big a shock for you, but I was like, wow. Wow.
Still a huge shock. I mean, Nationals is big, but I don't know, just this seemed wildly big. Driving 25 minutes to get from one end of the event to the other. It's incredible. You know, how long would you say we spent on the road just in those buggies alone, Jonny?
I try not to process that. But it was a couple of hours a day. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, it was a couple of hours a day driving on those roads. And, Nationals is huge. There's so much going on, so many people, but it's shoehorned into perfection, right? That is a well-oiled machine. They use every inch of that ground amazingly. Quail Creek's got 4,000 acres. They can do what they like.
Yeah.
And so it does just feel massive, because it is massive. What was it, over 500 acres of shooting?
Yeah.
Like, can you, try and put that into perspective? How big's Eaton Hall? That's huge.
80 acres in total.
Okay.
So you're talking
that just sort of knocks that out, right? 6-7 times Eaton Hall. But not in like one square. It's all spread out. I just still can't quite get my head around how big that place is. And that was, I think, the biggest, coolest part about it when you first arrived there, is you arrive in that main event hub, and you probably felt the same. You go, this is big and cool. And then you look at the map and you go, that's all right. And then you actually drive out.
Yeah.
And then you get to that sort of first bridge and you go, oh, I must be about here. I must be somewhere near the end. And you're not even at the first proper event yet. Which is cool.
And I don't think the map's to scale. Because you look and go, it's just up there. And then, after 20 minutes, you think, have I gone the right way? Now, we made a big mistake, because I'm from Yorkshire and I'm tight. We didn't book a buggy for the first day. And everyone had told, shuttle buses, you'll be fine. But we're on the 8 a.m. rotation on the Super Sporting, or 8:30 possible. So we got there 10 to 7. And give them the due. First day, I think they'd had quite a lot of trappers not turn up, quite a lot of shuttle bus drivers not turn up. There were no shuttle buses. So we're like, right, we'll walk down to the clubhouse, get a shuttle bus from there. We walked past all the Halise fields, about 10, 15-minute walk, got to the fork, and I looked at the board. I said to Laura, I think we're going to have to walk straight to the Super Sporting because it's the opposite direction to the clubhouse. Thinking, 20-minute walk, 15-minute walk. We walked for half an hour, and we're like, shit, where are we? Because I hadn't seen another sign for 15 minutes. Anyway, luckily we managed to flag a guy down sort of by, where you broke off to the Winchester Cut.
Yeah.
You could go onto there, managed to flag a buggy down there. And like, can we, going out to fill the ice coolers, like, can we jump in with you? Because we have no idea where we are or where we're going. And we've been walking for like 35 minutes and not seen a sign of civilization.
It is just massive, right? I know Pheasant Shoot's smaller than that place.
And I think, obviously, you guys had the drone and you got up in the helicopter and you did a great job of trying to convey how big it is. But I think even from the helicopter, you can't really tell, can you?
Even then, it was almost impossible to try and really showcase the size of it. I genuinely don't know a way in which you could do that.
You have to take a light aircraft and do a time lapse across it.
Yeah, other than that, or just doing a time lapse or just literally having a completely separate video where it's like an hour long of you just driving around.
Just driving around, yeah.
And it's just
which would still be a time lapse.
Elevator music going.
Yeah, just a half an hour drive from one end to the other and go, this is a little indication of what it's like in real life.
Well, that's it. Anyone who's not been, it's impossible to describe, I think, just how big it is. And to be fair to him, like I say, after that first morning, we got everywhere we needed to go with shuttle buses without a problem. Because then we decided, no, we're going to book a buggy because we've fucked up being tight.
Yeah, I can't imagine not having a buggy at that place. I mean, that said, like, there was points when we shared a buggy, Owen would be off doing something. You couldn't walk 20 meters without somebody coming along going, do you need a lift? Do you need a lift?
When we got out of our car, they would be there asking, do you need a lift? Like, the
service was incredible for that.
Amazing.
I mean, like I say, after that first morning, where I think they were scrabbling around trying to find trappers and things like that, we never had a problem after that. We got a buggy over it. Because having decided that we'd made a major mistake and we should not be tight and buy a buggy, it turned out they were then a waiting list for the next 3 days. So the only day we could get a buggy were on the Sunday. And I'm like, we need a buggy for Sunday because we are going straight from the main, pretty much straight to the fit task. because being, me, I got there, I wasn't going to shoot the fit task. Got major FOMO, like, no, I'm going to shoot the fit task. I love fit task and I'm booked on it. I really wish I hadn't, because I were absolutely knackered by the time we shot it on the Sunday.
How many events did you shoot?
So, Tuesday we shot Super Sporting first thing, prelim in the afternoon, the Noble Sport prelim. We then had Wednesday off altogether and went alligator spotting and stuff like that. Had to get a little bit of wildlife stuff in for Laura, to say thank you for filming me shooting for 8 days out of the 14 days that were there, or 12 days.
I mean, there were alligators there. I mean, should have been very happy with that alligator on the Krieghoff main.
We did see it, yeah. I don't think they'd appreciated me trying to hire a hovercraft to go scooting over to it, though, because that's what we weren't out on an airboat.
I'd say that's proper cool. What, on Lake Okeechobee?
No, we went north. So I was staying in Kissimmee because a friend's house was there. So free accommodation. Big thank you, Gaynor. So we went north and up to Sumter, to a place there which is quite near Blackjack Sporting Clays, which again, if you ever go back to Florida, another ground to visit. Not the same scale, but probably the friendliest ground in Florida I found when I came out before. So we went up there, come back down. So we were doing quite a bit of mileage. We were doing like an hour and a half back and forth each day, which if we go again, I definitely won't do. Because by the time we got back to the house after, we're going to go for drinks and stuff. Let's just go sit down on the couch and process what's happened today, as well as back up all the footage.
Yeah.
So yeah, we after that, I said that we got buggies then. Oh, sorry, yes. I shot the Super Sporting and prelim. Thursday started the main and the Winchester Cup. Friday just the main, Saturday just the main. But we're on the last rotation on the Saturday, which if anyone's going to the banquet and you've got a friend with you who doesn't eat beef, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, just getting back to the banquet, I shot exactly the same. I shot B&P main.
Same rotations, wasn't you?
That was... it's a quick run back.
Yeah. That
20-minute drive from A to B. But that banquet was something else. Sorry to skip ahead on that, but that was... I'm still kind of processing it. And I know it sounds silly, it's a month ago. But I chatted to Owen about it. I mean, me and Owen have chatted extensively about it. And it's still just a little bit of a mess in all of our minds. And, we've done it, we've filmed it all, it's edited, it's out. And I still can't quite get my head around the Jack Links Cup.
That banquet, like I say, I mean, we were fairly late arriving. And the guys who were shot with the Super Sporting from Alabama, who broke us into the Jack Links beautifully, because they were just nobbling each other, winding each other up and just having fun. It's like,
nobbling at each other means something different up north, clearly.
Winding each other up, taking the mick. So, as they were shooting. You're strange, you Southerners, you really are. But yeah, so, giving each other a bit of stick and winding each other up while they were shooting. Which you can see on the Super Sporting video, because someone put, I can't stand the guy in the peanut gallery, he's really annoying. I'm like, peanut gallery? That's a new one on me. I don't know if you've got that down south.
Peanut gallery?
Yeah. So they were shouting, giving each other a bit of winding while they were shooting. But that was
basically our entire film is us just winding each other up on the main.
Well, that's it. So I was like, this is exactly what it's like when I shoot with my friends at home. So this was great. But we sat there, and we rushed in and met, and we're like, you walked into that tent was up all week, wasn't it? And you're looking thinking, bloody hell, that's a big tent. But until you actually walked in for that banquet, it was like, wow, I've never seen anything. I don't think I've ever seen this many people sat in a banquet as it is. Don't mind a shoot.
Well, whilst Jonny was shooting, you were doing a bit of self-filming with Jeremy, and I was covering sort of the process from start to finish of the banquet. And in my mind, as I'm watching this humongous team just sort of working like fluid, I had I don't know if you ever seen the series The Bear, but just this chaotic, like probably violins, like just all these people running around everywhere, just making this thing happen. And then what was it? A 40-minute turnaround from
everybody
done?
Fed in 40 minutes, 2,000 covers in 40 minutes. In a tent on Valentine's Day.
With perfectly cooked prime rib on every plate.
Amazing.
I almost didn't find out. I was almost too busy filming, probably the same as you, Owen. We're there filming everyone eat, and it dawned on me very quickly that if we didn't get something inside us right now. And I didn't see, the scale of this tent is so big. Owen and I did not see each other. I think I checked in with you when I first got there. We bumped into each other, and I didn't see you until everybody left, and we were the only people left in the tent.
Yeah.
That's how big it is. And we were running around. We've got a camera. We're both looking around. It's wild.
Yeah.
But we did get a piece of steak right in the end, wolfed that down and got on with our jobs.
I had a piece and a half. Because that's it. I bought my partner a guest ticket and we were shooting and a bloke like, oh, don't worry, there's other stuff as well, not just the steak dinner.
There was a starter, apparently.
When we got there, because we were on that last rotation, it'd all gone. So like, you enjoy your salad and I'll eat the rest of your steak because we paid for it and I'm from Yorkshire. I did split it with one of the guys next to me, like, do you want some more steak? You're like, no, when you're having some. It's been paid for. I can't help it. So
no, to be fair, it might just be a British thing because I saw these empty seats with their steaks. I'm like, if I didn't have to get up with the camera right now, I reckon I could polish the two off next to me quite happily.
Oh, beautiful.
What Mike doesn't tell you is he took all the plastic cutlery as well.
Yeah, he's got three. He's been eating off paper plates for a week up there, you know.
Listen, waste not
got value for money.
We've got to remember, I'm from Yorkshire and farming. I've got a double hit of being tight, you know. But yeah, like I said, and then
got a blue badge for that.
The raffle giving, because I'm sure, did the tickets say like over $50,000 worth of prizes?
Yeah, it banged over 100k.
Wow,
100k of giveaways in the end. Yeah, it's guaranteed over 50, but I think throughout the week a few more people put things in. And wow, I mean, I had a few messages from people who are going purely just for the raffle. They'll go and shoot as well.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about odds, that's pretty solid odds to win something and have a great dinner and have a great shoot. It's a win-win from the off.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I think I put it on the live stream. Compared to, because obviously you've got the Florida swing. I'd shot the Caribbean Classic the week before, and I'm not in any way knocking the Caribbean Classic, but that were $345, I think, for 200 bird main. A meal, we're going to get the ticket to the banquet and everything, but it's $355, $65 for the Jack Links, similar price, 300 targets, 4 days, a cooler bag, packet of Jack Links shirker. But then there's
what a nice way to start off. I mean, and the chance to win something.
Well,
they've got a real nice gifting culture, which I think is what makes it stand out above and beyond a lot of the other shoots, or at least separates it. Because you can throw a shoot. It's easy to throw a shoot. I mean, sorry, that's not fair. If you've got a shooting ground and you throw shoots, throwing a bigger shoot is not impossible. Making it stand out, now that is something else, right? That really does require dedication and a want to give back to the community.
Well, that's the thing. You look at what they provide you there. Right? I mean, the shuttle buses, the stuff out on course. You know, if we go to the World English this year, where the first couple of days they were charging referees for water.
No comment.
And then you go there and there's coolers of water, there's snacks everywhere, fruit. I mean, the best apples I've ever had. Not loads of fruit, as you can tell. But
fruit's got calories too. You just need to eat more of it, mate.
Well, apparently fructose sugar is good for just the whole ethos and vibe of it. They're looking after you as a shooter. You don't at any point feel like they're there to get your money out of you and get you money and off you pop. You know, and like I said, just the ethos of people there, it's so friendly.
Yeah, I think that is what makes like the special shoots stand out when you talk to people. And Jack Links and Nationals are both like key form on that. Is you're going and you're paying for the shooting, but you're getting a holiday.
Yeah,
like you really are getting a full experience. And I think that we can definitely say for Jack Links was an incredibly full experience. I mean, you say you shot a bit, and we'll go back to that in a minute. I just shot the main.
Yeah,
and I thought that was more than enough. I mean, granted, we were driving around like headless chickens filming. We had a huge call sheet to knock off. But just shooting the main, and maybe I'd have enjoyed shooting a couple of other side events if we weren't filming, you still have this incredible experience. You're still in the sun. You're still in Florida. You're still looked after the same whether you spent $365 or $355. or whether you spent $2,000 on entries. And that's a real nice thing. Everyone's there to enjoy themselves. You're there in the sun and you are treated as equal as a guest rather than just a shooter, which I think is really cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, you get that feeling. You get the feeling they're absolutely happy to have you there. Do you know what I mean? And not just because you're paying for a ticket. I mean, obviously Laura with me, she wasn't shooting, she was just filming, and they made us so welcome everywhere we went. Like I said, we didn't book a buggy, got the shuttle buses. There was not a single squad we shot with who didn't offer us a seat or ask us if we're, well, are you walking? You working? Like, yeah, from
like you're clinically insane for putting one foot in front of another.
Like, Laura, you jump on it. I'll walk between stands. It's where I, decompress and forget about the misses that I've just put in on last stand. But yeah, just the whole vibe of it. I'm almost speechless. Right, still just looking back, it's by far and away the best experience I've had shooting.
Have you done nationals yet?
No. I was hoping to go this year. I still might be a little bit of a struggle with work, unfortunately.
Get it in the diary. And I'm not here to say that it's like wildly better or anything, but it's a very different experience again. And I don't think you can measure any shoot until you've been to Nash.
Yeah.
Like there is something about that shoot that is incredible. Same as there's something about Jack Links that's incredible. But Nationals is the bar for me that every shoot is measured against. And Jack Links came up to that bar perfectly, I should point out. But
Jack Links is also a younger shoot as well, which I think...
Yeah, 5 years in.
5 years, it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And the team there love it. I mean, whether they love it or not, they appear to love it and they put a lot of passion into it. And that's really special. It shows.
But I'd say Jack Links and Nationals almost can't be compared because they are so different. And
Agreed.
if you look at it on paper, it should be, easily compared because it is sporting and, it near enough does the same thing. Yet it's totally different. And I can't say, for what I could say one does better, the other does something else better. They are very, very alike in sort of quality.
A different vibe as well, almost like a very different vibe, To see some of the best shooters in the world at that dinner, staying after, having a couple of beers, you do not get that at Nationals because they want to be the national champion.
I would say it's a lot more, not competitive, but like they're a lot more focused, and it feels very much like the Jack Links is there, although there's lots of money on the line. Everyone's there sort of enjoying themselves really and just having fun.
It's the first one. It's a warm up of the season, isn't it? And it's the first bit of sun everyone's in a great mood. They're coming off the back of, a Christmas break.
It seems to be most of the people who are really good shots who didn't get up there had just spent the last 3 or 4 months duck shooting.
Yeah.
And they're coming off that good vibes into the competitive season. I say no pressure. I think they're all aware that you can't not train hard and turn up and win. That's not how this thing works. But you can turn up and have a great time with your friends and get ready for an amazing season. And that definitely had that vibe. What were your favourite events, Mike?
I love the super sporting. I like super sporting anyway. I know it's under attack.
Is it because it was easy?
Yeah, it was. No, do you know what? Genuinely, because I got there and it was first time shooting it. We'd had all that palaver in the morning. We were like, shit, we're going to be late for the peg. So they must have updated the squads, and normally you get a notification from Scorchers in your email.
Mm-hmm.
I must have missed that, and I'd saved it in the notes app, the squad listing. So we'd gone to station 9. We were waiting around for a trapper and that, and they were running late. So I've had all that panic, but now we've got time to relax. They got a trapper and he went, I ain't got your card, mate. Well, obviously not in that accent because he's not from Yorkshire. But so then we looked. Oh no, we're on squad 10, station 10. And then the guys from Alabama just made it such a laugh that I loved this. And I'd come off the Caribbean Classic not shooting too great, going in front of everything, and whipping at stuff. And then I got there just relaxed and had such good fun on that shoot that I did really enjoy it. Now apparently because it's that big, you've got a super sporting prelim. I hear that the Super Sporting prelim was actually a lot tougher than the Super Sporting. But
Yeah, I didn't get to see it, but I did hear exactly the same, that Super Sporting prelim was spicy as anything. And that said, I mean, I didn't shoot the Super Sporting, but it did look like the most friendly of the courses that I saw. It looked like everything was there to be shot.
Yeah, you'd still to keep your concentration. They had, I'd say,
Sadly.
probably 2 really tricky stands. Stand 1, which luckily we didn't start on, had some really big fast crosses at the back, which everyone struggled with. But other than that, it was a bit of a just focus and, keep your concentration shoot. If you go watch my video on MSJ Online, you can see the targets, Jonny. Beyond that, I actually found the main. Was it a standout on the main events for me? B&P obviously tough, real tough.
What an epic course, though. I think it's one of my favourite courses I've shot in a very long time. Well, I would say that's not true, but it is one of my top courses I've ever shot. There you go.
Yeah, we started on stand 3 in the woods.
We started on 3 as well. Right?
Okay.
Or stand 2. No, stand 2.
Stand 2. Yeah.
We started on stand 2.
So it lured you into a slight false sense of security, didn't it? Then you got into that open bit, like, wow.
Yeah, that was the Simpair trap bird and the right to left sort of rolling target, yeah. And then walked out into the beast.
The big batu and a big teal.
Yeah, big teal, followed by big teal, which was very wind dependent, right? That was one of the more wind affected things. I watched Todd shoot it, but I'd seen the wind about 10 minutes beforehand, and I know Kevin said it was about 100 yards when he shot it, and I can believe it was the best part of that for sure. Tough.
Well, the other thing was we spent probably, because we shot the Caribbean Classic, we spent a week giving things 2-3 foot, occasional target that's 4-5 at a push. And then you go out there and you're like, oh, wow, we're back to some big leads. And it just caught you by surprise. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that was a standout course in terms of being tricky and putting you under pressure.
Yeah, but it wasn't even the harder stands that necessarily were tough on that course, which I think was quite fun. And what I noticed that even though it was hard, I think everyone was just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Which is quite rare on a course that is that tough. I mean, you think back to Nationals last year on the green course, very different gravy, right? Probably equally as hard. I don't know what the average score was coming off either. I'm sure there's stats out there that we could easily research, but I know that the green course hurt a lot of feelings. And I don't feel that hurt that many feelings, even though it was still bloody hard.
No. For me, like I say, you got into that open bit, it started to really push you. But then as you swept back, because we were stand 3, you swept back in then and it felt to settle back down again and you were back to more technical stuff. I thought it was really good. Really good. It's hard to judge the flow of a course when you're not starting on stand 1. But for me, yeah, mind you, if you look at my scores across all 4, 9, 10, 11 is where I started to dip and start missing. So I don't know if it were that all the courses seemed to pick up around there or if it were just me getting to that point and starting to dip in form a little bit and then picking it back up.
The fatigue in the heat is real, right? Because before you go on a course, you have a load of drinks and usually something to eat. So, I mean, certainly if you put the work in, and I find that Owen will attest to this, if I let my blood sugar and water levels, hydration drop, I literally become the worst shot in the world. And that would happen after about 6 or 7 stations if I don't keep on top of it. Just that heat, certainly from you up north, mate, you're just not used to it.
Well, I did have a week to acclimatise, but the first day we shot the Caribbean Classic, it never stopped bouncing down with rain. I'm like, what's this? No, this wasn't in the deal. I've come to get away from this. You wouldn't have thought it the way I shot. But
I'm curious to ask you, Mike. The thing I heard the most from Brits out there, and I don't know if you heard it yourself, but what most Brits struggled with to start with is just giving it too much. And I don't know if maybe with you shooting the week before, whether you'd sort of acclimatized to that and felt like you maybe had an advantage compared to maybe some other Brits who'd just flown out just for the jet links.
I definitely think so. I shot the Caribbean Classic the week before and I shot okay, Same thing. I was in front of so much stuff and whipping at stuff. I think as well, I don't know what your thoughts are, but there you get a lot more lower faster going away, quartering stuff. There's not as much up in the air as we used to over here, certainly up by me. And you just get into a bit of a habit of whipping at stuff, I found that first week. And then we went into the Jack Links and seemed to settle down pretty quickly. I do think, like I say, that super sporting course are quite a bit up in the air as well. Whether that just
their birds only fly up to about here, don't they? So,
well, it's a funny one. It is more like traditional walk to punting, isn't it? Really, you know. I don't know. It's not something I've done a lot of, so I'm making that leap of faith.
I think that there is an element to that, but I think there's also constraints with the targets. Is they are a little bit lighter and a bit more fragile, so they can't belt them and boot them like we do. In the same sense, like you can't double spring a trap and throw the great targets. Like I say, great targets, the power targets that we do without having a tower or something like that. So you'll find a lot more, I think, to maintain speed, they do generally keep lower and shallower angles, which is a game that we don't get to practice much, right? I think it was an American competition, I can't remember which one, but I went out to the ground locally to just go and warm up. And I think there was one station that had a quartering away low angle target, one. And I'm like, I'm going to probably have to shoot 10 or 20 of this target across X many stations. And that's tough. And in fact, I think the thing that's helped me most with American targets is actually going to World Skeet with Owen and learning to shoot Skeet, which is a game of low angle targets made of the same stuff, because it requires a slightly different style to what we're used to necessarily. Because of what we shoot, right? A lot of Brits do shoot with a slightly more powerful gun. And I mean, watching American shooters a lot and filming American shooters a lot and editing American shooters a lot. It's a lot steadier gun speed, a lot more people working off that front edge, a lot more maintained lead, which is great. I mean, and it's a game of playing the targets you got, not complaining about the targets you don't, right? And I think the more time you spend there, the more confident you get working those targets. And you can still use gun speed and power, but your timing has to change, not even radically, but radically enough that it can lose you a few whilst you attune.
I think the hard thing as well is when you do get them targets up in the air, is you're used to taking I shoot quite a bit of pull away on a bigger target like that. And I found myself pushing out like, hang on, it's dying off a lot quicker than I expected. That's certainly that first week, and that is because you see them come off and you think, that's flowing like a normal target, but then they just wilt.
I remember my first time out there, exactly the same. You got a target coming to its peak as a looper, and you just do your standard, you predicting where it's going. You watched it, but you didn't watch it that hard, so you just power off into the space that it would have been in. But I'd say it's an easy thing to complain about. We're playing the same game as them, and they adapt when they come over here real well.
Absolutely.
It's just
certainly didn't hurt Brandon, did it, last year at the World English?
Yeah, but these guys are actually doing all the right thing. I think that's the thing with the elite level shooters, is you could throw any kind of target. You could manufacture a target that's twice the weight, and they're not caring, right? They're looking at the target, they're looking at it for its full flight form, and they're looking at it when they pull the trigger. So it's not like you or I who would probably just go in and go, yeah, I got this, and make the move regardless of what the target's actually doing in reality.
That's very true.
Which is really cool. Like I said, I love the fact that we shoot different targets. I think it makes for a more fun experience when you go over there, and vice versa when they come over here, right? It's a treat.
Yeah. And different clays. Although that could be a little sore spot, couldn't it, at the minute? The Blaze black rimmed clay.
Orange domes. I love orange domes. I used to hate them. I've got... Yeah, this is it. The first few times, Christ, it messed me up so bad. But I've got a lot better at seeing them and understanding them, and not just sort of doing that, not being scared of them, right? Exposure is the biggest thing. If you've never shot a 60-yard crosser, they're really scary until you've shot a few. If you've never shot... If you don't shoot a lot of rabbits, they're scary. Same with anything, right? The more you shoot of anything, the more you get used to it, and that's the game. Which is why we should all go and shoot more.
Definitely. I've said to so many people, whatever you do, you've got to put one of these big American comps on your bucket list. You've got to go and just experience it.
If you love clay shooting.
Yeah.
You have to do it. It's not even that expensive. I think that's the thing. Let's rewind that. It's not free.
No.
But in the grand scheme of things that cost money, that you can do that are enjoyable, $1 per minute enjoyment of one of these clay shoots is not that bad.
No, I don't think it is. The surprising thing for me were ammunition over there. Other than that,
But what did you expect that to be free and grow on trees, or
no, but just cheaper. But I had already had this experience when I went out in December 24. I thought, just given the volume they must go through over there, it'd be cheaper. But the ammunition is more expensive than here.
I mean, you can still buy complete and utter wank for not a lot of money. But quality ammunition, which you're buying, of course, you're going to go and pick up the good stuff. You're shooting great targets. The difference of a few pennies per shell isn't going to change things.
Oh, no.
What was it, about 120 a flat?
So I was shooting Winchester double A's of 289 for 500, because about 2 sets of 500 plus
145 for flat that's fine.
Yeah.
Like that, it's not bad. It's $14 a box.
No.
So what, 11 quid a box? You'd pay that for a top end competition shell here? I mean, it is what it is, right? It only gets expensive when you go gluttonous. And I think this is also the other thing, is I get a lot of people reach out and sort of ask for advice on this. And the answer is, when you go first, don't shoot every single competition. And if you don't want it to be expensive, shoot the main and 2 side events. Like, what's the flight to America is about 700 quid. Your hotels don't have to be expensive if you go through Airbnb, and you can be there, back, and shoot for the week for $3,000.
Oh, easy, yeah.
Yeah, and that's
we stayed.
That's not bad. It's not. It's. I mean, I'm not saying like everyone's got $3,000 in their pocket, but
be back on
lots
holiday.
of people have $3,000 in their pocket.
Like we went a few days and did some sightseeing. If you've got a family, because I'm trying to convince one of my other friends that he needs to go next year. I'm like, look, go for a week with the family first. Go do Disneyland and all that lot, and then you stay for a week and come shoot it. Don't know what they'll go down with missing. But you know what I mean? You could split the holiday up that way if you need to.
We've spoken to
enough stuff going on there for families to come.
We've spoken to both, partners and partners of people who are shooting for both nationals and Jet Links. They're both situated in places where there are things to do for kids, wives, husbands, whatever. You've got the beach only 45 minutes away. I do think it can be something you do with your family quite easily.
Well, you think if you only shot the May and you stayed at the coast just across from Quail Creek, you're nipping out for 2 hours from the phone to go shoot the main. You want to hover around a bit, so for 2-3 hours, 4 days. Don't do like me. Like say, I ended up shooting the 4 mains and then the fit task on the Sunday, and that were complete FOMO. So
I am gutted I didn't shoot it though. And I was actually chatting to Owen. I was almost going to go and shoot the feed task on the Sunday, and to be fair, we were not even behind on filming. We were quite ahead of ourselves with filming, but I think we made the right decision to not. Although I am now gutted I didn't, because could have beat Don Brunt, and that would have been nice. I mean, I never would have, but I could have.
Well, we shot on the Sunday afternoon, 11:30. Did we start? I think it was 11:30, so we're out on the 8 a.m. rotation. Heavy wind. Shot first parkour pretty poor. Picked up a little bit then though, but I was just done. We got to parkour 3 and I said to Lauren, I can't even concentrate on targets anymore. We're just throwing gun at stuff. And not just because I'm shit, but because I think I'd looked at that many targets over 2 weeks and shot that much. It's the most I've ever shot in a week in my life.
It's something that you don't account for, right? There's plenty of days where I've shot a lot of shells, but paying attention in a competition, the flight, the heat, the sun, and I think the intensity, I think you even said it in the film, like just turning up to a new place, taking it all in, then going and shooting, your brain's not in the game. But then doing that all day, day in, day out, you can't expect to do incredibly well shooting 300 targets a day by the end of the day, unless you're Jeremy and some kind of caffeinated superhuman.
Mind you, I saw him one day and he looked fit to drop. Back in the Friday or the Saturday, we bumped into her. He was just out on his feet nearly.
He just picked up his wife as well late that night, and you had an early rotation. Am I right in saying that?
When did he pick her up?
Oh, fiance.
Yeah, Friday he picked her up.
Yeah, she'd have been out at 8 a.m. Sunday, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Straight
that was,
to
to be fair,
rotations.
and by that day, I think, just cooked, man. Like, always with the Dr. Cola, and he's always talking about seeing the targets well. And when you can't see the targets well because you're just a bit cooked, it's an interesting battle in itself. But say you don't have to overdo it, but it is fun to.
Well, that's it. You see, my view was, for some days, like, we're going down. It's a long way to go to just shoot 75 that day. I might as well book on the Winchester Cup. I might as well book on the Fit Task on the Sunday.
Yeah, and why not, right?
Yeah,
you are already there
we're
once.
to enjoy it. We weren't there to try and take any medals. We will come on to the prize money because, at the end of the day, there's opportunity there for everybody in every class.
Yeah, I mean, they even in C class giving away $5,000 to top place or something, aren't they?
Yeah, every class $5,000 to the winner. I came 5th in B class. And
Congratulations.
$1,000 for 5th, plus back to class option as well, about $400. So,
Right, well done.
That's part of why I was shooting the Fit Task. Because we won a little bit earlier in the week. Like, we'll shoot it. But that's what I mean. It's there for everyone. I mean, I shot pretty well. Really annoyingly, and this is how you shouldn't look at it. I dropped 3 targets on the last stand on the last main on the Bass Pro, the sim pair on stand 3. What did Bass Pro finish up? Yeah, it must have been.
Stand 3 was stand 2 was the simper. Stand 3 was a report pair, quartering away over the shoulder, right to left, low crosser at your feet.
Yeah, sorry, started on stand 3. So finish on that
autistic target memory kicking in.
Kill that.
Owen's there smirking like I'm a loser. I'm like, shut up, I can't remember my kids' birthdays, but I can actually remember. Stand 3 on Bass Pro Main.
Well, so I finished 5th by 4 targets off the lead, and I dropped 3 on that last simper.
I can't say anything. I walked away. I opened on that station. I walked off with a 5, and I was like, at that point, we'd already had a pretty long week at that point. And it was that point I'm like, this is going to be a rough ride if I can't shoot 2 simple sim teal. This is going to be a real rough day.
But like I say, we're never going with any intention of trying to get first. But you're looking at that scoreboard over the next few days as you're going like that. There's a chance here. And I said to Laura, like, I need to go out and probably put in a 63, 64. We'll definitely do it. And I finished with 57 and we're 4 points off the lead. Like, it's so close. But,
not bad. Not bad.
No, I was absolutely chuffed. But now I'm like, need to go back and avenge that next year. It's a 100%. Great excuse to have to go back. But the point I'm making is, like, any level, you're going out, you're competing in your class. There's prizes to be won if you happen to perform that week. So yes, you've got that investment, but there's always a chance that you could win a $20,000 Krieg off in the raffle.
Yeah, and like if you are in one of the lower classes, the C's and the B's, it's a great place to go.
Yeah,
it's a great place to go because if you have a good day, you can pay for your entire week away. By having a couple of good days out on the course, which is, I mean, that's worth the gamble, right? You start sort of climbing up, and that's not a derogatory thing because I suck, but as you start climbing up, the chances of winning are slightly lower because there are some incredibly good shooters up in that AA master is a write-off, but if you're up in that AA category, there's lots of people who should be in master or will be in master, not should be, will be in master soon, having great days. And so, hell, it was like, it's cool. But hey, like I said, even Don Brunt won money. So that's remarkable.
Who would tell? But like I say, it's there. Everyone's got a chance of something, even if you don't make out in the classes. I was
having a chat with Desi about this as well, actually. And I thought everyone has a chance of winning something at the Jack Links, given the fact that most have come away from a bit of time off at Christmas or shooting ducks because they know they've got a whole season ahead where they're going to be doing a lot of shooting. So some of these pros and the big leagues, they've taken a bit of time off. So that's where I think the underdogs have really got that chance to step up and grab those prizes and sort of make a name for themselves.
Yeah. And the Brits going out there doing well. James Atwood were up there. He won quite a good chunk out of it. Phil
was up there for a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know Phil and James a bit. I watched him Both missed one on a stand that I run. So that's it. I don't need to do anything else this week. I'm better than Phil Gray and James Atwood on that one stand, but we'll put that in brackets.
This is facts and truth. It doesn't matter about the whole course. It's about
That's
that one
it.
moment. They
And
can
I've
never
got
take
video
that back.
evidence.
Station 13.
Station 13 champion-ish.
No, which one? Station 8, I think. Which course was it? Okay, they all blur into one for me now. But it happened to be the trapper was a guy who shot on my squad at the Caribbean Classic. But I do have video evidence that I did genuinely hit all the targets before.
It's a great segue. I think that's also worth noting that the quality of the trappers there was outstanding. Really, really outstanding. Really lovely people, lots of experienced ones, and the less experienced ones were really keen to learn, really attentive, and really polite with it too. And that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I think a shoot doesn't run without them, and it can make or break a shoot when you don't have great trappers, refs.
No.
But when you do, it's one of those, it's like the final nugget, isn't it? You can throw great targets, you can put on parties, you can do anything like that. But if your timeout on the course is marred by meh, then they did a great job, a really great job.
Particularly when you look at just the amount of trappers they need for that week. Like I said, you've got people coming in who obviously aren't doing this all the time. And I didn't see anybody frustrated with them. We had a couple of issues with a couple of trappers, not anything like deliberate.
Couldn't understand a word you said, mate. That's the problem.
Well, there is that. But everyone was just like, hey, look, mate, you just need to do this, do that, you know. Everyone was helpful, and I didn't see anyone being particularly, sort of annoyed or rude towards the trappers at all, which I think is key. I hate when you see it, especially if it's the no birds and people getting arsey with trapping, like, do you want them to do about it? Like, really?
Are you fishing, Mike?
No, why?
You can't put a worm on a hook like that. No. Owen, from your perspective, we've spoken about this at length, but you've had a good amount of time to actually digest. What was your favourite part of the whole thing?
Favourite part, I'm going to kind of repeat what's already been said here, but just the energy amongst squads. Like, I loved it. It was a similar thing with Jeremy, Doctor, it is, and David King. It was just the banter. It was the ribbing. It was the celebrating those like epic moments. It was really nice to see. We had the Station 13 sort of championship-ish. It was
we had championships on every station.
I need to go look at my scorecards now and see what my 13s were.
Not like we didn't start at 2. Like, I think only by about sort of station 8 or 9, when we'd all kind of given up on the solemn competitive nature of this, did we start to need to pump each other up. And that's when the station championship came in.
Yeah, that was just good fun. I'd say that's kind of, even though I wasn't shooting, I was filming. It's infectious. That for me, I think was the best part, really.
Absolutely, like I say, that the spirit, like the fist pumping and all that, and everyone wants everybody to do really well. You get that in the UK, don't you? I mean, everyone wants your partner or your squad mates to shoot well for the most.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I mean, I think there are squads in the UK who are like that, but you can't squad with randos in the UK and get that.
No.
Maybe if you're super lucky, but more often than not, when you go on a random squad, you'll have a nice time, people polite and nice, but it won't quite have the same energy and fervour.
No, not same as that.
And Yanks are just mad, which is great. So Americans.
I mean, we had king
friendly.
cake. We had king cake halfway around the course.
It was at 8 a.m. on Sunday, and our B squad brought a king cake out, and we all had king cake.
Yeah,
that's one of my highlights of the week. I was like, it's one of the nicest things.
It did look very good on the video, I must admit. No one gave us cake on my squads. Not even a cigar. There were some cigars kicking around, but no cake. So as someone who was just filming, are you getting the bug to? Do you sit there with the camera thinking, "God, I wish I was shooting and having a pop at this"? No,
no, not in a competition sense. I do have a little go every now and then. At the end of a sort of project, I'll have a go at sort of clay shooting, hunting, that sort of thing. I'd say the hunting side is more my jam. I've probably shot more birds than most British hunters, which is quite cool to say. But yeah, I think
I'm guessing by species rather than volume.
species, yes, yeah. Not if it's by volume, no. But it's definitely something I'll get into at some point. But do I need another expensive hobby? No, I don't.
The reason I asked Laura, who helping me film, she's done a couple of have a go days. She's come away from phone, right, I'm booking a lesson. I'm getting into this just because of the atmosphere of that Jack Links Cup and just how much she saw, how friendly everyone was, how much she enjoyed.
Sorry to hear about that for your wallet.
You say that. I think there's an interesting thing that Owen highlights there is that this is an interesting sport in that you can have almost as much fun with both clay shooting and hunting with not pulling the trigger around the right guys and girls. Like it is, I just shot the main. That accounts for, 6 hours of the week. And the rest of the week was still epic fun. Just driving around the courses, watching people, talking to people, hanging out at the base camp. You can have a huge amount of fun in this sport and not burn your barrels.
Yeah.
Providing you have a social bone in your body, of course.
Well, it helps, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I said this on the last podcast. Because we're going back to the British shooting thing. If you're on a squad where nobody knows each other, I find it's like stand 3 before anyone starts particularly talking to each other about much. Might get a good shot. They generally don't get a chance or an option when I'm there because I'll talk to anybody, whether they want me to or not. Usually with a look of disbelief on the face. Like, what's this northern idiot on about? Go on, you know you want to say something, Mr. Cat.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm holding it in, mate. I'm like exercising this new era of my life where I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to like filter what comes out of my mouth because that is a better course of action.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Maybe the Americans are rubbing off on you.
No, I just haven't been on the road for a couple of weeks, mate, and I'm a much nicer person with stability. Owen will attest, like when we have big stints of travel, both of us turn into absolute knobheads.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
We just talk through everything, right? It's no different to spending any sort of intense amount of time with everyone. Once you've just sort of talked through all of the sensible stuff and you really have nothing left to say to each other and you really have no happiness left. You got happiness, but the social and smiling battery is done. It really is just a case of saying the most ridiculous, horrible things to each other at every single point during the day to get a laugh and a smile.
That's the British mentality though, isn't it?
If you look at the tail end of if you were to look at the tail end of most of our footage at the end of Jack Links, before, just after it gets cut, there'll be a mum joke in there or something like that, sort of directed at me, Jeremy, anyone within sort of an earshot.
That's what you're saying.
It's acting like that's just me, mate. Everybody starts throwing them around. Once you open the door, I've noticed everybody enjoys like that free ball policy.
So we need like a X-rated blooper reel for channel members, huh?
No.
Is that what the Discord servers? But I suppose coming back to the competition side, then obviously, do you think we could recreate something like that in the UK? I know we've got Ian Hall coming up, and the price structure there is a very similar way, £5,000 in each class, paying down to 20 places, I think. So if you get in the top 20, you're at least getting your money back for entry. But the atmosphere and the size obviously is going to be tricky. But do you think we can take anything from that sort of American competition like that?
Owen, do you want to lead on this one before I go on an hour?
Yeah, I think it's extremely possible. It's just whether or not people are willing to do it. Obviously you can't compare to the scale and size. Yeah, but there's guaranteed to be someone that could afford to invest in that to make it as good. Someone just hasn't yet. So I think
it's that Eating Hall thing is as close as we've got.
Yeah.
And Pro One, although it is not like a multi-event thing, there is there is fun. Like, I think that the truth of it is, and I say that, is that it's down to the shooter to have to pay more money per target for a better time.
Something else you're missing out, which is something we've discussed, is the fact that where America's so big, people are traveling and staying within that area. So you create that almost community rather than you go to any major competition in the UK, you drive there, you shoot, you go home. You're not staying around that event, and you haven't got that event atmosphere for a week long unless you are, well, yes, you work in a stand or that. But
Do you think
for the most
it's a
part,
vicious circle though? Because often there's not much going on after the shoot to stick around for.
that could be improved. I agree.
It's that sort of chicken and egg thing. Do you put it on and then nobody comes because they've all gone already anyway? Or are people going because there's not, often when we shoot down south, World English, we're staying nearby because obviously, although you could travel it in America, getting back up north in the UK probably take you about 12 hours because of motorways. But we'll go and then we'll go out for some drinks and some, something to eat because nothing's on the ground to stick around for.
Yeah, I think like the 3 and 4 day main thing is a real good thing, because if you want to shoot the main, you got to be there for 3 days, which inherently allows you to have people there or close to there, which means you can start doing that evening hospitality. And so I think there is an onus on the shoots to do that. There's an onus on the shooters that have to pay more, and that's okay if you get more. And I think that we are at a point in the market that they'll take it, right? If we look at what people are already paying for targets, if you charged them £1 a target over a 3 day main of 300 targets, yeah, it's a £300 entry. But it's not a cheap hobby anyway, man.
No.
It's not a cheap hobby anyway. A few extra quid for a better experience, a more memorable experience, I think we'd all rather say, okay, well, I'll shoot that rather than do an extra couple. And, I'd rather shoot those 300 targets than 500 normal targets, have the experience, pull a leaf out of Nationals books, and have free buffet dinner and free beers every night. Because most people will be driving him, so no one's taking the mickey. Beer isn't that expensive if you think about the entry cost. If you gave them a £5 or £6 worth of beers, given that beers, that's 5 cans of beer, and not everyone's going to be drinking 5 cans of beer. Free food is not expensive. If you look at it on a per diem basis, that they take some potato salad and some chicken thighs, we're not talking about laying on a steak dinner here. That's not the point. And also, if you look at Nationals, there's 2,600 competitors, 3,000 people that are actually going there. A lot of people go out for dinner and go and hang out with friends and do that kind of thing. But having the ability for 200 or 300 people to stay behind on the average evening and enjoy each other's company, it allows you to make new friends, really builds community as a basis so that people can level up and then go out for dinner with their friends once you've made some, once you've done that. And I think that it's just got to take someone brave to do it, but I'm fairly sure the market will take it. In fact, I know the market would take it. Knowing all the people that I know who shoot, yes, a lot of them do stretch themselves to shoot a bit, but I know a lot of them would stretch themselves to shoot one super special shoot. They already do.
Yeah.
So if you're charging 70p a target to be in a competition, what's the difference between 70 and 100 quid? Not to be blasé about it, but you're already, it's not just £70, is it, to shoot your 100 birds? It's not. You've got shells, you've got accommodation, you've got diesel. An extra £30 percentage-wise would cost you, you'd pay it if you got a tenner's worth of stuff back.
Yeah.
Like free sesame crackers and water on a course. I'd almost pay a tenner extra on the course just to not have to remember it. In fact, I would like.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you. We shoot in Europe a lot. If you go to any big event, you're paying €120 a clear minimum. But it's a big event, and you're not even getting the kind of hospitality that we're talking about. And the shoots are full. I mean, the Eurocash is known for its targets. It's a great shoot. I've shot it for the last 3 years. I wasn't going to shoot it this year, but again, that FOMO's kicked in. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Going to go get my ass kicked. But it's a great shoot. And again, we talked a little bit about the targets earlier. No one was coming off for the Jack Links feeling battered and bruised and like it were unfair. Go to a Eurocash, you're wanting to get in double figures for your fit ass. Let out, but you come away thinking all them targets were great, even though they were rock hard. But you don't get loads of hospitality. There's a bar there and stuff, but you've got to pay for everything, pay for your food and stuff like that. You don't get a meal and stuff with it. It sells out and is packed as soon as it launches.
Exactly. There's money in this game. There is money in this game. And I think that there's this unwritten rule in the British mindset. I mean, we're definitely not like this wealthy country by comparison to many others, but there is an unwritten rule in the British mindset that I think from the business side, that if you make yourself expensive for a shoot, you'll get this reputation of being expensive, and that's the worst thing ever. And I think there's not many grounds that are brave enough to put on hyper premium shoots. And I don't know why. Like, because that doesn't mean you have to be a hyper premium thing. Like your clays on the clay card Promatic or whatever can still be 40p. But for an event, to put on a show that's worth the money, the difference in actual entry fee for what that would allow you to do for the shooter. And a quick segue, I'm not in it for the prizes. I'm not good enough. I don't put enough attention into it. I am there for a good time. And I think you'd probably garner more people paying to come for a good time and an experience than you would for the prize pot. And everyone does focus on prizes because prizes get the big names in, the big names tend to draw a lot of other people in. But you know what? 1,000 C-class shooters is the same income as 1,000 AA class shooters. And there's 1,000 C-class shooters out there who could have, I mean, this is obviously hypothetical, but you understand the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Is that there's an element that the experience has value. The prizes only have value to the top 20 people at this one shoot, or top 5 people on the shoot, or even the top 3 at some shoots, or the top 1.
Yeah. It's about the experience, like I say. So it's got to, so you can do the bigger cost, but you've got to have some hospitality. And I don't mean necessarily giving free stuff away, but the atmosphere has got to be there, hasn't it? You've got to feel like you've not got your money's worth, because that's not what I mean, but
I can go and shoot targets anywhere.
Yeah.
I can get a card and go and shoot targets anywhere. I can go and compete at any ground on a Sunday and pay whatever a competition is, 60 quid for 100 birds. If you like to truly stand out, as we sort of wheel back to that Jack Links thing, you do need to go that extra mile, and you can charge for it. People will pay it.
I think if you build it into the price and you're transparent about where that money is being returned, people will come.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, I'm looking forward to seeing how the Top Gun shoot at Ian Hall goes. I think it's putting a stake in the ground to say that Braves can do these kind of shoots. I know there's been some chatter online about it, complaints about the cost of it.
Really?
Yeah. From Northerners.
Probably. Well, I was for that, you know. It's different.
Jesus Christ, my first house was only 2 shillings.
House prices these days. Yeah, there were just a few, like, there was someone commented on it, who I know shoots FITAS. Like, you pay 70 quid for a round of FITAS where you can't win anything, even if you come top. You might get a medal if you're lucky. You go to the big FITAS shoots, well, not even the big ones, not the worlds and stuff, where you're paying over £1 a target already with no prize money and no, some atmosphere. And now you're upset because it's going to be 250 quid for 250 targets with a big prize pot that everyone's involved with, not just the top shooters. Right. It's crazy.
I do think I should point out that I do believe that prizes still count. You should still, I'm not saying that you just put on a show and that's okay. There still needs to be prizes, but I think the emphasis doesn't need to be on, yes, we got these great prizes and great targets, but you got to pay for water. Oh, there's no water, there's no snacks on the course. And once you're done, you can piss off home. We don't want you here. Yeah, sorry, we close at 4.
If you were to separately, and I'm asking both of you, if you were to build a tournament, clay shooting tournament, championship, whatever, what would be your sponsor? Like Jack Links, what would you choose? And it could be anything, and you're going to call it the what cup or whatever. What are you choosing?
I can't let you go first on that, Mr. Carter. With your wealth of experience and big shoots, I've only been to one.
That's a great question, Owen. Obviously, it depends what we're going for here. Jack Links has the beauty of adding the hospitality to it, but if we're looking at prizes, it's a different question. With prizes, it would be a car manufacturer with cars as the top prizes. That's such a great concept. It's a huge draw as well from an international perspective from prizes. From a hospitality perspective, you know what I'm going to say. We want Stella Artois to sponsor a shoot. I want the Stella Cup.
Yeah.
And then I'll be happy.
I want Bollinger because they'll have enough money to fund the shoot.
You see, that's because your
I
cost
don't
of
like-
living up north is so low. I don't even know what Bollinger is, mate. I work all week
can
for a
honestly
can of
say
Stella.
I've never drunk Bollinger, to be fair. I've just heard of it. Yeah, I don't know. In terms of a sponsor, it's tricky. Who can you get?
It could
I mean,
be
the
fun. It
car
could be
thing.
someone you love. Doesn't have to be realistic.
Trojan.
What's a Trojan, Johnny?
Horse.
Yeah. I don't remember French ticklers. You used to see them in machines in pubs, but that might be, you might both be too young for them. I think I am, actually.
French.
Yeah, when we used to go sneak into the pub to go cigarette machine when we were like 14, and there were always a Johnny machine in there. There'd be like luminous condoms and stuff, and you think, what are they for? Ribbed for their pleasure. Anyway,
When you haven't paid the electric bill, bit glow in the dark.
just landing it home, love. There you go. We'll move on swiftly from that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm honest, Owen, in terms of I'd like to see
Tube Cup.
more sponsors from outside shooting involved.
Greg's.
Greg's. Come on. I'm on a diet. Manjaro, sponsored by Manjaro. They're making enough money now, aren't they? About fat people getting on jab.
What's Monjaro?
Fat jab. The Ozempic and that.
Wouldn't know, mate.
Well,
I'm enjoying my growth spurt.
but yeah, it's a good question, Owen. I suppose the question is, how do we attract, if we can, how do we attract sponsors from outside? Is it even possible?
Yeah. Yeah, of course it is. I think, and this is a question that's been posed 1,000 times on podcasts, but inherently, the sport probably needs an elite level, and it needs to be entertaining, and they need to be great personalities. And those people need to be loved and revered, like in a lot of other sports, right? There needs to be personalities, there needs to be coverage, there needs to be reality, there needs to be news, there needs to be rivalries, there needs to be something that is actually interesting to the spectator. Because you can film the sport, we've proven it, you can film the sport easy peasy. It's hard work, you need like people and money to do so, but it's with the right team, it's simple enough. Covering 100 people is neither interesting nor special. There needs to be jeopardy. Like if you look at Simon Reinhold's rally clays, there's jeopardy and that kind of thing. But there is in sporting clays. I mean, there is in golf, right? Similar kind of concept. But you need personalities and you need great filming, and then you need not a lot of people so that you can follow the names that you love.
Mm.
And I think that is a problem that we have, is that it is accessible to everybody, and that's amazing from our perspective, but that's also the reason that it will never, until we have that elite class. We've got like the pro squad in America, but I'm thinking even smaller than that, like to a certain extent. Although that's not the game we play. But that's, I do wholeheartedly believe, like a reality series of clay shooting, or a following 10 shooters round 10 shoots, 20 shooters round 20 shoots, 10 shoots, 5 shoots, and actually having a championship between them where there is reality and training and following these guys, where you can go, I'm Team Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
I've never been in a Formula 1 car, and I never will.
I wonder if there could be like a relegation and promotion into that sort of top 10.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's real jeopardy there, and there's chance of, and it keeps it fresh with potentially new people coming up and going down, and adding that the new characters.
Yeah, and then
Could
you
be
build
exciting.
levels, right? You got your Premier League, and then if you lose or you're the bottom 5, you get relegated, and another 5 come in from the college football version of clay shooting championship, whatever.
Do you think we need like a designated tour for something like that? So
I mean, the Yanks
America's
have
got
one.
some-
America's got their championship tour, and that's really good. And you could do it there for sure, but again, it's too big, it's too busy, and there's not enough control from a filming and coverage perspective. And there's too many people to try and sort of follow, which it's possible, but it just becomes a really difficult job. How many great shooters are there in America who could win? If we just follow that championship tour and we base it purely off the points, how many shooters are there in that running who could be up there? 20? 30? And we'll see as the season unfolds. But if you put something on the line, like a good amount of money on the line, and all of the people who are great started taking it seriously again, because there's plenty of shooters with a lot of talent who don't train and work as hard as the others because they've got a lot of other businesses going on, I reckon you'd see 30 or 40 people, which is, again, just maybe too many to try and follow and work
You'd pick
with.
out the stories, wouldn't you? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Take.
And I wrote a proposal for this back
along.
along.
Everyone does it. Just picks out the stories from the season.
The content.
Film everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would be really cool. I don't know what you feel about that, Owen, but I still think that that's as close to getting outside sponsorship and making... Outside sponsorship comes from making this sport bigger. This sport doesn't get bigger by people pulling the trigger. It gets people by watching it, viewing it, caring about it. How many people play base? Yeah.
All I'm hearing is, Mike's not denying that he's Trojan Cup.
Do they do an extra small?
Yeah, it's purple.
No, I think you're right, though. I mean, you certainly want to, if you could convince a couple of the pro shooters to say, right, we're going to follow you, certainly around all the big shoots in the prep. But I don't want anyone else around for that either. In an ideal situation, right? It needs to be level pegging. Everyone needs the same pressures, the same camera, the same everything. So doing it in a controlled environment, a little bit like the PCSA did, is the right kind of cool, I think, but with more of a reality focus. That's always the thing, right? Background. People like people. People worship people.
You want to follow the before and the afters and the conversations and maybe like some of the dinners and the debriefs and stuff. A bit of the drama as well. Otherwise, you're just showcasing people shooting, which is great, and that should be the majority. But I'd say 30% needs to be.
It's not going to break out, though, is it? You've got to be in the community to enjoy that to some extent. I mean, you guys have spread a little bit wider. No, I mean, if you just filming shooting.
Yeah, you look at the Formula One analogy. There's a lot of people who like Formula One who've never sat down and watched a full race. But some of them won't even watch all the highlights, right? They like the people. They follow the people, they follow the news, and they follow the person they like, and they might watch a few of the clips of them driving, but they don't really care about the competition as a whole. They want to root for something.
Well, you look at Drive to Survive. Look how incredible, that's done, and how much it piques my interest. And I would love to look at the stats, which I'm sure are really easy and public to access, but I would love to see how that has developed and what interest and conversion
Netflix don't publish viewing stats and all, do they? Which is really annoying.
But you could quite easily see, like, when it sort of started, or when it sort of had the first, because I imagine season 1 probably wasn't big, probably by season 2 or 3 was when it really sort of got traction. See how many people then started tuning into the F1. I'm sure Johnny's going to pull up some stats now.
Yeah, I was just having a look at it. Over 50% of new fans in F1 since its release came to the sport through that. US viewership since it went up a unknown number, but 15% rise in ticket sales to US people. Higher sponsorship values became enhanced for like the people rather than just the show. The audience demographic changed fundamentally, became a 46% female viewership, and a 31% 18 to 29 viewership. They haven't got the stat beforehand. But it does show that US viewing figures of F1 jumped 18% after Series 1.
Wow. I mean, so we just need to pimp you out to Netflix.
Hey, look, it just needs enough.
Yeah.
I've written out the proposal. I've discussed it with a few people, but it's not a cheap thing to make films. We work in the most efficient way possible. We could not make films cheaper than we could, but they'd be shit. We could to make a quality film takes a lot of time, a lot of experience, and we break ourselves doing it bluntly. Like, what we do is the work of 4, 5, 6 people running around making sure we get everything. It's planned to the team. When we get there, we work 12, 18-hour days, and we run hard to make it a reality, right? Now put that in a position where you do actually need 20 cameramen for an event 5 times a year. Maybe 7 times a year if you wanted to do the full Winchester tour. And you could maybe do it with 6 cameramen and editing and production staff you're looking at a not insignificant amount of money even to make a demo of the show, but the whole concept of a demo isn't really the point. The point is to tell the story over a season. Doing one isn't going to change a damn thing. But that's where I'm at. I always thought that would be quite cool. Just need a benevolent millionaire to go, hey, I've got this great idea. I'm going to fund that because I don't want to pay tax this year.
Do you think it's like the sport is lacking investment from sponsorship because so much is in-house? I don't want to crab on the people who do put back, but do you think there's a lot of in-house, as in the community, brands who don't feel a need to put much back in sponsorship? They're sort of complacent. People are going to buy their stuff. They're out there. Don't know.
I mean, most every shooting brand reinvests in shooting. I can only think of, and I'd say that if you actually look at a global stage, not just Britain, every brand I can think of funds something, someone, something, put something back in to the community because they have to, right? Their marketing budget it is easily spent giving back to the community, and they do, unless I've missed something. I mean, there's some small businesses who don't, but a small business in shooting doesn't have a marketing budget where they can really afford to give back meaningfully. I don't think.
How do we? Sorry, go on.
I think there are. You look at across sort of Europe. If we exclude America, if you look at across Europe, there are rest of worlds. There are all the gun manufacturers pretty much have put their hands in their pockets to put something on. I think what we need is outside sponsorships to just help out with this. I think if we're looking at just the gun manufacturers or ammunition manufacturers alone, we're sort of hitting a bit of a roof of what we're capable of doing in Europe. So I think a bit of outside help, me personally, I think would just give it that leg up, an opportunity to really put it up higher. What do you think? Shaking your head. No,
I agree. I think it's
Jonny.
No, I was shaking in agreement.
Oh, right.
I was vibing with you, Owen. 100%. No, I think you are correct, but showing these people that we are a loyal audience that will buy back is important.
Yeah.
But they're not going to see quite the same return pound for pound as someone else, but their marketing budgets may be bigger. I think the truth is we do need to invest in our sport to make it more appealing to them. And that does have an element, and I do genuinely believe this, of having an elite level. And that's cool. But nobody's, I think the PCSA did it, but we need to have another look at that from a more modern content creative aspect to make people interested in this sport on a wider thing. Because we got some great people, some real cool characters who will say some real inflammatory stuff and act in certain ways and be entertaining, and off camera, some of the coolest people you've ever seen, some absolute nutters who, if they, I know for damn sure, if they could monetize their nutsness, which they can't because they have to be seen to be a little bit more normal for their current sponsors, if they just got paid for their personality, some of these personalities are mad. And I love it. And they've got value. No names mentioned. They're all really respectful people.
I mean, I also say come from a darts background. No, not at any major level, no. But if you'd have told me...
you played in a pub on a Friday night. I come from a darts background. Watch it on telly on Wednesday night.
But if you go back 4 or 5 years, if anyone had said to you that Microsoft would be sponsoring a darts player, absolutely nobody would have believed it. Or, that it'd be getting played all over the world. So maybe it needs one character to spark it. I don't know. Obviously, darts were already well established on TV. But it's just one, it is possible. It just needs, like I say, that spark and that character.
Hey, look, I will make it my life's mission at some point to make that reality series. I don't even care if someone else makes it, as far as I'm aware. As long as they give me a nod with the IP, I think it's such a solid idea. I just want someone to do it. I would watch it. I am a sucker for reality shows anyway. We all are. Everyone loves reality. It's like just a bit of human drama. It's something to do, and it's pretty mind-numbing at the end of the day.
If you tell me you're a fan of like Real Housewives of Orange County, I'm gonna
No.
Phew. That's
Not
that's
anymore.
way off.
Lost its way.
Yeah, now we're on to New Jersey, and
That Real Housewives of Southampton, mate.
yeah. Well, you want some estate ones would be good.
Council
The real single mums of talk stuff. Something like that. I'm gonna have to cut this out.
No.
I think it's Manchester's most notorious estate.
Wouldn't know,
No
mate.
idea. No.
Bandit country.
Well, listen.
Genuinely, I'm closer to Paris.
Oh, that's nice. I want to go. I can't wait to get back to France. I love it in France. You've got to probably get on your list a big French shoot.
Yeah, I'd love to get out there and actually have a crack at it, but honestly, our schedules are pretty packed. So,
I'd love to see Dawn's bird video this year.
yeah, what a place! You've been out there a couple of times, haven't you?
Just the once, a couple of years ago.
I used your video as homework, to be fair.
Oh, appreciate it. It's amazing, isn't it? What a place.
Yeah, an incredible spot. Owen has not been yet, but he may well do.
No.
You never know. We're having chats about going back, which I'm really excited about. So,
Yeah, fab.
fingers crossed.
Oh, could be busted. I might have to make the trip for that.
What are your top three? What are your top three, Mike? If money is no object, what are your top three you're going to?
In Europe or
Just
global?
Money's
Global.
no object.
Money's no object. So definitely back to the Jack Links.
Yeah?
Just a guess.
That's making top three for you, is it?
Oh yeah. Bear in mind,
Yeah,
I've got
I can see
limited
why.
experience being out there.
No,
You've
I see
took
why.
nationals. I really want to go to.
Yeah, 100%.
Top three, money no object. I'd love to do World Fit Task at somewhere really nice and make a real, couple of weeks of it. Be it Italy or somewhere like that, where I've never been, and stay in some really nice accommodation rather than an Airbnb with a broken toilet seat and stuff like that. But yeah, the World Fit Task is definitely on there. But Jack Links again, I can't wait to go back.
Nice.
I won't travel to and from Kissimmee every day. Maybe stay on site if your money's no object.
Yeah, I think that there's a element of any shoot can be made or broken by where you stay. And Owen and I can attest to that. So just even from our filming trips, is the quality of the Airbnb or hotel we're in can make it want to remember or want to remember a bit.
I was going to say,
less fondly.
always remember, not
They're always memorable, mate. One thing that there is we always make memories, however terrible the accommodation or filming project.
It's a good question to throw back to. Obviously, you've covered some of the biggest shoots on the planet. What's missing that you'd really love to get to?
I've never been to a World Fit Task. Fit Task. Christ.
I know you spent too much time in America.
Yeah, I do. But, I genuinely, I say this all the time. The majority of people I talk to for work are not English.
Yeah.
They're European or American. A lot of my friends are out there. And so I have bastardized my accent over the years. And I always get comments in the comments about it. You lose the American accent. I'm like, yeah, they don't understand me when I talk like myself. They don't. So you have to kind of morph it a bit. You have to morph a little bit.
You just fall into it.
If you're speaking to a northerner,
days.
you have to slow down and speak in small words.
Bloody seven. No, that's Australia.
Dearly
southern,
they are southern.
Well, first time I went to America, the amount of people that thought I was Irish. Like,
See, that is interesting because they all thought I was Australian the first trip.
Yeah.
I got Australian twice, but predominantly Irish. So I don't know who should be more offended here, myself or the Irish.
It's a solid point. I think if you don't go over and speak like a blue-blooded Englishman,
Listen, if you got your received pronunciation, darling.
darling,
Can't get it close enough, can I?
darling,
I'll edit
with
that
a G.
Darling. Yeah.
Darling, here, sweetheart.
They've seen far too much, what do they call it, Downton Abbey. That's the problem.
That's your jam, is it?
No, the Americans. I can't stand period dramas. As much as I love film and stuff. But, yeah.
It was bad enough living in the 1800s up there anyway.
Well, that's it. When I go, oh, look how they used to live. Like we still do. Hey, I'll have you know, we now finally have fibre on the farm. Fibre.
Fruit and fibre.
Yeah.
No. We don't do that. We don't do that.
Sure, home delivery.
That's why I'm in my new office and doing podcasts, because before it were like, my upload speed were like 1.5 meg.
Wow. But back onto the subject, 100% it'll be a world fit task. I think there is a really good number of grounds I'd like to go and see, but the list is pretty extensive. Apparently there's one in Greece on the side of a volcano. I've heard about that. There's a couple of absolute bangers in some real strange parts of the world I'd just like to go and see. But they'll happen or they won't at some point. The truth of it is I will travel across the world to try and shoot a bird for clays. When it happens, and I enjoy it every time. And that makes me sound like I'm not a passionate clay shooter. I really am. But I get to do so much of it, film so much of it, edit so much of it, voice over so much of it. I'm so intrinsically involved. When things happen, they happen, and I'm really excited for it. But I have been lucky to tick off most of the things that I always wanted to do. I am hopefully going to go and get over to, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. There's a Daphne's shooting ground out in the Netherlands. I'm really excited to go there. Ed spends a lot of time out there. Wildenberg. Really excited for that. That's very high on my list. That looks like a really solid place. And there's 2 or 3 places in America. But like I said, even the small new places you go, just say, I'd never been to Ashcombe until the end of last year, right, Owen? And loved it.
Oh,
you can just go and have fun at a small ground, and with the right people, clay shooting can be incredible. Whereas birds, you tend to have to travel a little further to find something special. With clay shooting, as long as you're around the right people, they've got some targets, and you've got a gun, what's not to love?
Yeah, but it should be fun, shouldn't it? It should be. There's some people out there take it too serious, especially in this country, I think. You know, you get on a squad with someone and they miss a bird and then they don't speak for the rest of the round, and it's like, I just missed 4. It's weird.
I think there's like this massive privilege in sucking at clay shooting. That's the truth of it. Like, there's this huge privilege. If you just suck at something, you can enjoy it so much more innocently. And I think there's a element of childish enjoyment that a lot of people could do with. And I see it so often and talking to people, and they're anally analysing how they shoot or their gun or something alongside it. And you go, you're not that good. Yeah. The least you could do is just enjoy it.
Yeah. And
if you want to be good, you need to probably worry less about an ounce here and an ounce there. And the truth is that shooting is really simple. You put 85% of your hits come from having good, solid moves, good, solid target reading, and a good, solid mindset. And until you've got that, that's your cake. Your 15%, the icing on the cake, comes through polishing the bit underneath. But that's really boring to hear. It's much easier to go, I need an ounce in my gun, and hence why X, Y, and Z, when the truth is that your eyes and your hands and your brain just won't cut out for this sport and you're not training hard enough. And I fall into that camp. But at least I go out and enjoy every little bit of this game to the absolute max.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my attitude towards it's changed over the last few years. I'd get narky with myself in the stand for doing something stupid. I would never take it out of the stand, but now I'm just like, blah. You will still hear me chuntering on videos because I keep forgetting I'm mic'd. Dickhead. Yeah. What did you do that for?
Yeah, this is it.
But I'm having that joke with myself. You know, I'm not. I don't let it ruin my day.
This is it. The only person you can blame is yourself.
Absolutely.
And you're some kind of grade A dickhead if you take it out on other people when you're down.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier.
Unless it's Owen, in which case I'm allowed to take it out on him. He's like my brother. And vice versa, I should point out.
I'd say just a bit there on grounds of that. I don't know how you guys are for time. If you wanted to wrap up, let me know. Future then for TGS. Because you talked there about getting meetings and talking about changing little bits of stuff. And I think watching the evolution of the channel, you guys are really good at keeping it fresh. You know, and it would be easy to fall into the same trap of doing the same stuff every time.
Funny you say it. I was literally going to ask you, what's coming up for you, Mike, yourself? What's in store for the podcast and outside of the podcast?
So for the podcast, just continue chat about some interesting guests, really. Like I say, it's been on my mind for probably 18 months to get this going. And just try and get some guests on who I find interesting to talk to, really.
Why did you take a break this week?
Do you know what it is, Owen? I wanted you on, really, so we could geek out about cameras and stuff, and Jonny just came along.
I mean, I'd have been happy to listen to that. I could have still been in my pants.
He is.
Given
He
we
is
can
in his
only
pants.
see you from here, I am assuming a little bit that you might, but
Yeah.
and I'll be thinking about that later, Mr. Carter. I'm Jonny Carter fan. I'm not, by the way. Has that person actually been unmasked yet? No?
No, I did actually have a revelation of who it was the other day, but I've had a revelation of who it was about 20 times. And if you ask them, they're going to say no, aren't they?
Yeah.
One day it'll come to light, and it will have been one of the people I think it is.
It's got to be a friend, hasn't it?
Maybe. Maybe. I only got like 3 of them.
I know. Owen, are you one of them?
No, it's
Yeah,
probably more in the family category at this
I was
point.
going to say, at this point, it sort of feels like it's evolved into something bigger and uglier.
Yes.
More disturbing.
I'd say so.
So yeah, really, just with the podcast, see how it goes. Keep booking people. If people want to come on and talk to this Northern idiot, they're more than welcome.
What would you really like to cover? And with guests, who's your dream guest besides me? Who do you really want to get on, and what do you want to talk about?
Do you know what I'd love to get on? I'd love to get one of the British top shots and one of the American top shots. So maybe Brett, Brandon,
And bring them in.
and get them in to have a chat around how they see clay shooting, what their experience of it is, what they would do differently to improve it. But, who knows? We'll see what gets booked. What I really love is someone to come on and speak very honestly about the problems with British clay shooting, in their view.
I mean, we don't I think it's worth mentioning. Like, it's easy to talk about the problems. The sport, the hobby, realistically, is in an incredibly good place.
I think so. You look at it.
People are joining. People are enjoying it. Shoots in the UK are getting bigger. Shooting grounds are getting bigger. Like, this isn't 10 years ago anymore. Like, we're not moving forward at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but people are investing and doing better and becoming better. Every ground I go to is in reinvesting. We're seeing incredible things, bigger, better competitions. And I say it's easy. Yeah, you could charge £1.20 a target. People will pay. I don't own a clay shooting ground. And if I did, I'd probably play it safe too. Or I'd play it slowly. You'd build it slow. I think we're in a great place. Look at America, an incredible place. I think the problems in clay shooting aren't that big anymore. The question at this point is, we've got a great foundation. If we would like this to become a bigger thing, what do we need to do it? We've got an incredible hobby with an incredible following that turns over big money globally. How do you turn that into something mega? And do we actually want that?
It's a fair point. I'm thinking more along the lines of politicians. So, like, if we look at what's going on, obviously we had the lead ban's now been announced. Everyone's panicking about it. You guys did videos 5-6 years ago, what it with Nick?
Yeah.
About the lead ban.
Yeah.
In terms of clay shooting, there's only a problem for the straw balers, and that's the worry for me, because how do they get around the wad issue?
It is going to get more expensive, and I do think that if we look at this objectively, you're exactly right. It's the grassroots that fails, which is rough, because that's where most of us start. But we are also in a beautiful position that a lot of grounds, there's a lot more proper professional big grounds than there was. So there is still some accessibility, and we're seeing degradable wads that aren't terrible.
Yep.
And they cost a bit more, but...
Well, you'd hope, like, as the need for them grows, the price will go down.
Yeah,
But
hopefully.
just have to watch on that one.
Be nice
I mean,
if the world went that way.
I shot some 16 gram super light steels yesterday.
I saw your video.
Wow. Apart from first shots where you fall forward because there's no recoil like you're expecting, that could go back to balance issues and form. But
fantastic form.
Yeah, I've got a bad back. What do you want from a? But just shooting that, I like shooting a 410, but it still broke stuff. I shot it across at 35, 40 yards, and it mullered it. To be fair,
I shot 24 gram steel out in Dornsburg. And you've seen some of the targets out there. There's not one single one that I didn't crush. I missed a few, of course. But when you connect, I don't see an issue at the professional stand. I know a lot of the Americans are very worried about it, but a lot of them do run fixed choke guns. There is going to be some change of mindset and some change of equipment, but it is also what it is. One can sit and gripe and smoke your pipe and drink out your handle glass brown warm beer and bitch about the olden days. But I don't know about you, mate, but I've got another 40 years of this. Might as well get with the program. I'm not in charge of the country, let alone am I not in charge of Europe. Although that would be a fun job. It is what it is. Got to deal with it.
Yeah.
There's no fight the right fights, push in the right directions. No point being antagonistic for the sake of being antagonistic and whinging about a world you can't change. It's quite fun.
The lead's done. Could it get reversed at some point? Unlikely. I think the latest one, the Section 1, Section 2 merger, is an issue. I just don't see the benefit to this.
So I actually understand this slightly deeper than some at this point. I had a chat with somebody a little bit deeper inside that post organizations kicking off and telling us one thing. That I don't think was probably marketed how it should have been by the Firearms Licensing Authority. The way I understand that it was actually meant was to go onto a single pass card. Like you have one license that is a Section 1 or a Section 2, but it's one piece of paper. Like it would save them 50,000 pieces of paper a year, which I know is not a lot, but it's a cost saving. It would have meant variations would have been done for a Section 1 a little bit like a Section 2. It would have been an almost complete ground up rewrite of the Firearms Act, which would have been really good if done in the right way, in the right hands. But that wasn't how it was spelled out to us by our organizations, or in fact by anybody, because the information on what it actually would have meant would have been inaccessible. But from what I understand from inside of the firearms department, the end game there was to rewrite firearms law to make it better. I didn't know this beforehand, and I felt exactly the same as you. But when I spell it out like that, you have one license, and that license has on it, if it's a Section 2 license, you still use it like a Section 2 license, but you also have Section 1 permissions for, so let's say A243, but instead of it being you need to put a variation every time, it would just be a case of, well, you're allowed 1, 2, 4, 3. It's logical that if you sell it to a dealer, you can then have another one, right? I think that's the direction they wanted to go. That's at least how I understand it. And I think if that had been spelled out like that to me, I would have thought, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. One license that's personal to you with everything you're allowed on it makes a lot more sense than 2 different licenses.
It does. Is it that's where it started, but changes in political landscape, political parties? Because the stuff that, they haven't released any detail on it. That's the other problem. They've thrown this public consultation out there with no detail of what they're actually going to do based off it. And I think the problem for me is public consultation is fine. If you go to the lead ban that were HSE, had like 8,000 responses, 8,500. The firearms licensing cost one, which, is literally going in every firearms holder's pocket, and only 13,500 firearms holders responded. There were 20,000 didn't finish submitting the form. But that's everyone, not all firearms. But you can only get 13,500 firearms holder, shotgun license holders to respond to something that's literally putting their hand in the pocket to steal your money. Not saying this, but you know what I mean. That would directly going to impact the cost to the shooter, and only 13,500 bothered to respond.
Yeah, so it's rough. Although, things probably, I'm not against it going up if it's underfunded, right? I would pay good money for a good service. That's fair, right?
That's the caveat there, isn't it? Though?
Yeah.
Happy to pay it if you get a good service. I know, and West Yorkshire, they've always been fantastic, but they're facing backlogs now, which they didn't a couple of years ago. But it's just about mobilising the community to me. I think I said on my last podcast when we talked about it with Claire, whatever your view on it is, even if you disagree, at least get off your ass and fill the consultation out when it comes out, because we know
that would be wise.
The anti-shooting groups are definitely couldn't be mobilised to fill out either. So yeah. Cool. Any other things on the horizon we should be looking out for as shooters?
I mean, the diary for us is relatively full. It's incredibly full. We're going to World English. That would be cool. That's our second one we've ever actually filmed, and the other one was at Anthony Matteris's in America. It would be a lot easier if we did the one in England that's an hour and a half up the road, but such is life. We're going to be doing a Briley factory tour. That's going to be super cool. Got a lot of love for that team over there. They're really nice. Excited to see inside their doors, as well as actually do some honest and open testing of chokes to find out what the truth is, because I've shot a lot and I know which one I think looks prettiest on the outside. And I know which one patterns slightly better with different guns, but I think actually getting a better understanding of chokes rather than just buying one that looks cool would be really interesting. And they make a lot and hopefully know a lot. I mean, they do know a lot, but at least demystifying some of that as well as showing a cool thing of how they're built will be cool. Be at the Orvis Shotgun Classic in America. We're going to be back at Thornsburg. We're going out to Italy in a couple of weeks' time for the Brett 500 year anniversary. That's got some really cool stuff on the horizon. Got a couple of custom stock projects for this year for a couple of different guns we're going to be filming. We've got a rifle factory, an ammunition factory, a gun factory in Turkey that I'm talking to at the moment about going to. That'll be a sort of not an industry first, but a first for us. It's one of our bucket list videos. What we've always said would be really cool to go and do, just to see a different side of gun making, budget gun making, which we don't really get to cover a lot because most of them don't want you through the doors, I think, for a reason. But a chance.
It'd be interesting to see how they can bang stuff out at the price they do.
How do you make a gun for 500 quid? All right. You don't get a lot for 500 quid.
No. I'd be interested to see, is it through super efficiency in the factory? I presume some, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at them, they're made more simply as less machine time. Machine time is money. Wages are significantly lower. Wages are a big portion of any business, right? Especially gun making, where there's lots and lots of people, skilled people on the floor in a country that can pay them a quarter or a smaller percentage, then it's happy days. And that kind of passes through to all the logistics around the factory as well, right? Because the truck driver that delivers your steel is on a low wage. Everything is just cheaper to build. And then, well, we'll find out. We'll find out. It's going to be an interesting one to do.
Yeah, well,
Nationals, obviously on the cards. Psyched for Nationals. It's always like my favourite bit at the end of the year. It's going to be really cool. Got Mexico at the end of the year. That's going to be sick. And I've probably missed a load. I have missed a load. Obviously the English stuff that I always take for granted. Pro 1, Sovereign Challenge. Going to go up to the whole factory and do a thing on steel cartridges once
Canada.
They've sort of refined a few new things. Sorry,
Canada, potentially.
Oh, yeah, the Canadian Open. That's sick. I'm excited for that. Yeah, that's going to be really exciting. Greenwood Invitational. That looks like that's on as well in Kansas. So we're going to see Superman. Although I've recently then discovered as part of my what would be cool to go and see on this trip if we have a spare half a day, let's go to where Smallville was filmed. Turns out that was filmed in Canada.
Oh, you're going to Canada?
Yeah, Canada's big though. Kansas is less big than Canada. Still
just
big.
Sad. Just sad.
There you go, the facts of the day. I mean, and that's kind of just skimming the surface, right? If I actually look at our diary of films for the year, we've got another 50 to make. So,
Wow.
It's going to be busy, isn't it, O?
Very busy. Yeah.
This is why we don't think too far ahead
as well.
Hopefully. A couple of bird ones already in the diary. Zimbabwe looks like it's very on the cards. I am excited for that, but it's still not completely firmed up. And there's a few other ones as well that may come off, they may not. We shall see. I'm always a bit more cautious when it comes to hunting content anyway. I think it has to be done right, and it has to be done for the right reasons. I think just travel, it has to be something you also kind of really desperately want to do. I think the idea of just going somewhere to kill something for the sake of making a film is not something I ever want to be particularly involved in. But I have also got a massive list of things I want to go and do and hunt. So the list is long and exciting. And Mexico is exactly that. We're going to go out and shoot wild quail, which is very high on my list of things I want to do, as well as doing doves. And yeah, it's not Argentinian levels, but you can kill under the
have you done the Argentinian doves?
No, been invited a couple of times, but
It's a long way to go.
I don't know if I want to find out how many things I'm happy killing in a day. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's a bit like, how many beers can you drink in a day? Nobody needs to find that out. Like, I don't need to be put in a glutton situation, and I also don't need to travel a very, very long way as a very, very large man for 2 or 3 days in country. So I'd like to do it one day when the kids are a bit older and I've got a bit more time. I think that would be a nicer thing. Go and spend a bit of a longer trip at it, a bit more of a relaxed one. Because Argentina is a country I've always wanted to go to, and there's a lot of other things I'd like to see and hunt than just go and bash doves for 3 days. So, yeah, we'll see. And
In the vein of doves, any more pigeon stuff? Any more with Paul this year?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be lovely to do something with Paul, but because of the nature of pigeons and because of the nature of Pigeon Paul, he doesn't want to, he thinks it's a waste of our time to come up and shoot a smaller day.
Yeah.
Although it's not, because we still get to hang out and learn a lot. And in fact, some of the smaller days we have more fun because at least we're not always looking out for birds and there's not always something happening. Although some of those big days have been extremely memorable. He'll give you 72 hours notice.
Right.
Which, if the stars align, can work. But I've got kids and I've got a lot of work in between those kids. So it will happen and I'm excited for it and it'll happen at some point. But unfortunately, I think we've had about 4 invites from Paul so far this year and trying to get one locked in. It will happen. I know he was out last Wednesday and had a great day and invited us to come over and film that, but I was busy. So it is what it is. But yeah, there'll be some pigeon stuff. I look forward to hopefully go out with Speedy again.
Yeah, the Crow video were fun. He's a funny guy, you know. I've never met him.
He's great.
His videos are fab.
I mean, you're basically his northern twin, aren't you?
How tall is he? You can't decide if he's short or if he just looks short on camera
He
next
ain't
to you
tall.
like everybody does.
Oh, and how tall's Rob?
5'8".
No.
I'm a bit taller.
Would you say shorter than that?
He's shorter than you, isn't he?
Not by a huge amount. I didn't
Maybe
think
because he's so wide. He looks small.
If anyone knows how tall Rob is, put it in the comments below.
Yeah, that's
I'll do a sweepstake. Well, as long as he's not wearing platform shoes, you know, want a genuine measurement. Cool. Owen, anything you're particularly looking forward to then out of that list?
Yeah, I mean, I loved Canada when we went out. I'd love to see a different part of it. Yeah, that was he's a great bloke as well. Old John Green. Is it John Green? I can't remember his name now. It's John, isn't it?
Greenwood.
Jim Greenwood, yeah. Mexico would be, yeah.
Bang on.
There's a lot of names, so there's a lot of names that pass through our communications. But yeah, Mexico would be very cool as well. So
I've not been to Mexico since I went to Cancun for spring break. And we were hunting. And for birds.
Sorry, what were you? Yeah.
Not the winged variety. And it was as bad as my wing shooting. So.
Yeah, good boy. Northern charm didn't swing over there.
Not really. Like, what?
All right, darling. I've got the heating on for 4 hours. My house is right hot.
Yeah, I'll have you know, I've got underfloor heating throughout, Mr. Carter. So, only problem is it's run off heating oil.
Did wonder where our tax money had gone.
Well, it's run off heating oil.
Aid to the north.
55p a litre to £1.65. So, yeah, it's fun. Luckily, I filled up as I was in Florida.
Get in, son.
Anything else? Owen, you've got some side projects you were talking about? Some charity bits that you've been doing?
Yeah. So I do a bit of charity work and help out with a men's mental health charity called Man Up. Get along really well with the guy that sort of runs that, Dan. He's a bit of a degenerate like us, so I think that's why I get along with him so well. And they've worked alongside Stephen Graham quite a lot, so they do a lot of the celebrity matches. So yeah, there's some future things and bigger projects with them potentially happening later on in the year. I can't talk too much about just yet, but yeah, it's a great charity. I think if
Well,
it's
we'll pop
one of
a
those things
link in the description if people want to check that out.
Yeah, I think it's something we don't really talk about, and probably not so much in the shooting industry as well. So, yeah, if you're struggling, look it up, reach out.
Excellent. Well, guys, I've kept you for 2 hours. Has it gone quickly? Or do I get this northern sod off my computer screen now?
You asked me at the start if Jonny, working with Johnny's aged me, not as much as podcast.
It's all right. This is definitely a listen at 2x just to make Mike sound normal.
Yeah.
Well, on that bombshell.
Right, thank you very much for having us on.
No, honestly, guys, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully we can do this again sometime, and we can get some updates again, and hopefully we'll see you out on the grounds. I'm going to have to get down for a members shoot. Give me some more notice.
Oh, well, you never know. There may be one at Eaton Hall one day or somewhere in the north.
Well, what we
But
need
the north to me is already Barnbury, like
I would
I've
say,
said, so.
like Watford Gap.
We could have it like further south, go down Ashcombe. That's more convenient.
Why not? What you need to do is the clay tour. Is that making a return?
Me and Ant were talking about it. I think it's been almost enough time that would be worthwhile. I think there was a point we ticked off most of the grounds that were convenient without sort of heading way up into, well, realistically, the northwest and the proper north. A lot of those grounds that we already have done, I'd love to recover them and see what they've done over the last few years. But hey, we'll get there. Unfortunately, Ant has like a really busy job now. He had a busy job then, but he had an underkeeper, and my schedule was certainly a lot freer, and we could get out and have a bit more of a. Well, it's just a different time, right? 2020, 2021, and 2022 were not that long ago, but they were also a lifetime ago. If I look at what I did then versus what we all get up to now, I think it doesn't pay. Me and Owen discuss this often. When a project is done, we write it off into our memory and never ever remember it. And we'll go and watch it a year later, but by the time we've done something, we've flown home, we've edited it, we're back on a plane again. If not before we've edited it. Like Jack Links, we were away on the next project whilst we dropped Jack Links into Sash to edit because we were back out on the next project and then another project before it was even finished. So to mentally protect ourselves, we've become very forgetful.
And just that, the editing process. I don't know, you're watching it 5 or 6 times every clip, aren't you? Minimum to get through it.
More, yeah. More.
I was giving you efficiency points there.
It depends on the subject, I think, is the truth of it, right, Owen? Some people, and I'm working on a project right now that is really, really good, but you need to listen to it about 6 to 10 times just to make sure the sentence was right and where to cut it. Mostly because some people hold your engagement and give you perfect cut points. Other people, not purposefully, but some people edit well. That's as simple as we can say. And it's not always the people who are great to work with, or at least say the best stuff. Some people just cut easy, don't they?
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a TGS Awards every year for the nicest person to edit.
That would be interesting.
A nice gap between the next sentence instead of rolling straight into a chat. How the works. You can't cut
or the old
moves.
into words, and then it's like, how are you trying to then cut that out as it's attached to another word?
And stopping occasionally for a breath is helpful.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. If you ever end up on TGS, make sure to pause frequently between talking. There you go.
Perfect, mate. Perfect. You're the next co-host.
This is it. No, that's the bit I hate most about my videos, trying to do piece to camera introductions on them. Because I find myself just hands in pockets wobbling around.
Hope you've had a nice week and had a few quid.
Yeah. What's that been up to? Would you believe I'm not as broad as a lot of people I know?
Not since you got on the weight loss medication? No.
Broad Yorkshire, Mr. Carter, the accent. Come on. There's been enough ridicule of Northerners, and we're outnumbered here 2-1.
I mean, you got the two most southern people you could possibly get.
Sponsored by
Fucking
Ozempic.
Cockneys. You're all Cockneys below Watford Gap to us. But,
Mate, thank you again for having us on.
no, honestly, thanks for coming on, chaps. And yeah, I'll put some links in down below.